Things got heated at the USA men's softball championship. We have the two best teams in the world going at it. Last week was the World Cup, and we had New Zealand versus USA happen, which ended with a walk-off home run by Raemaki. Here he is batting against Marco Diaz, the same pitcher he saw in the World Cup last week. Diaz is the fastest pitcher in the world, pitching for the reigning ISC champions. Pretty much the best team in the world at the moment. And then we've got Jerome Raemaki playing for the Gremlins. They won every tournament last year except for the biggest one. And he's one of the best hitters on the planet. He just hits every ball out. He's going up against Marco Diaz, who can touch 87 miles an hour. That's completely ridiculous. And so the pitch last week was from an up and away drop ball. So first pitch to Raemaki, they decided to go inside with that drop ball, and they just completely missed. This is the young catcher, just calls inside, thinking it's the best thing to do to avoid a hit. But Diaz isn't known for having perfect control, and he just goes up and in and clobbers the forearm of Raemaki. He's in so much pain here, and there's just a lot of nerve endings there, and it's right on the wrist, and softballs are much larger than a cricket ball or a baseball. This does a lot more damage, and it gets worse. So Raemaki broke his arm last year from the exact same thing, and it was from Diaz as well. It was in a Open Men's World Cup qualifier event, and this just destroyed the Gremlins season. They lost the championship because they didn't have one of their best players, and the coaches and just everyone on the Gremlins doesn't want the same thing to happen again, especially 1 week out of the biggest tournament of the year. Yes, the ISC to some is even bigger than the World Cup. And he's just in a world of pain here, and he's just trying to stay in the game. Like, he does not want to come out. They're trailing. He needs to be in this game, but he just knows that his arm's too sore. He's not going to be able to hold a bat. He's not going to be able to throw a ball. And then he has to walk away. And as he's walking away, he's giving Diaz a little stare. Now, this isn't saying, like, I want to fight you. This is saying you should know better. Like, don't throw inside if you can't control it. That's pretty well, like, it's a pretty well established unwritten rule, is don't throw inside unless you can control it, because no one likes getting hit, especially when you're dealing with this type of velocity. But the Gremlins coach has words to say, and the umpires are in his face, and as Raemaki's about to get back to the dugout, he just turns around, and we have a little bit of a not quite pushing contest, but everyone kind of just jumps out, like, okay, I need to defend my boys. But at the start here, it's only really the starting players that are involved, and it's not till later that the bench players come in, and they're the ones who are supposed to be defending their boys, because it's okay if they get tossed, it's not really too damaging. Now the benches actually start clearing, and we start seeing all the Gremlins bench players come in. We've got Gibbons, Mumu, and Oshitska at the bottom of your screen. And they're not really the ones that would fight too much. You'd really want to see an older player who's got more words to say. And then out of right field here, we're going to have Justin Schofield come in, which is an interesting move. Now, this makes no sense to me, because most of these players are either like really young and on their first pro team, or they've been here forever. There's not really any in between. Justin Schofield has been playing for other teams for a while and just joined the Hill United Chiefs this year. So he comes in and just bumps the Gremlins head coach Greg Leather. And then Winters comes in and pretty much says, you don't do that to my coach. And everyone starts pulling at everyone. Schofield gets pulled away here by McGovern and Hill. And then Ezekiel comes in to take his place and pretty much rips apart Zen and Winters' jersey. I'm surprised that thing didn't rip. There's a lot of force there, some words being said as well by Ezekiel, and by this point in the contest, everyone's kind of been, all the main instigators have been dragged away, and there's not really much more happening. I find it really funny that Josh McGovern was on the Chiefs side of the screen. It's like he forgot what team he was playing for, because he played for the Chiefs last year. Look, it's pretty rare you see these kinds of things in softball, especially these club teams, because everyone in softball knows everyone. Like the commentator said here, there's a lot of, no love between these two teams, but they're competitive with each other. They usually keep things just to softball. There's words, but there's not this many words. The umpire threw someone out. I think it was Justin Schofield. I didn't end up seeing it on the score sheet or anything, so yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. And I think the Gremlins actually ended up winning this game. So I guess they found some motivation despite what happened. Good on them. I will also say that the hit by pitch I don't think was intentional just because of the type of person that Marco Diaz is. He didn't appear in this brawl pretty much at all besides the pitch. And that they had an at-bat earlier in this game.